Yo, this is Brandon, aka Fling. We got Pawel here, aka Macho Taco.
Macho Taco.
Well, welcome to another episode of Making a Millie. We are looking at Draftkings Week 3 Millie Maker. This is a GPP show, large field GPP specific. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, Paul. So, how did last week go for you? Do you have any walk of shames?
I do have a walk of shame. And last week, I decided my walk of shame was going to be Rashid Shaheed because once again, I benched him. And guess what I did this week? I started him in our league. Did that work out for me? Yes. Did I start him? Did I start him in Fantasy or in the Millie Maker? No. Once again, going back that same walk of shame. I told myself, hey, man, you're making a mistake. And then I went ahead and did it again.
Well, as we get into the Vegas lines, we're going to be looking at a game, I think, where you might want to play him again. That's my walk of shame as well. I have Rashid Shaheed in my Dynasty League. And for the longest time, he was like a boomer bust guy, and I would really only start him if I needed him. So I think that narrative might be changing. He might actually be an every week starter. And I think I decided I'm going to play him because I'm 0-2 in both weeks. If I had played Rashid Shaheed, I would have won. So that's my walk of shame as well.
Absolutely. Right, it's brutal. I said it. I came on here, I said it, and then I just decided now.
Yeah. So, we're going to get into this, but thank you for joining us. If you like this kind of content, Millie Maker specific, let us know. Hit that like button. Do all the things on the channel. All right, so starting out with the Vegas lines, there are some game environments that really stand out. Paul, I'm sure you could see this one in the green right here, courtesy of DFS Army's Domination Station. We have the Detroit Lions 27.25 implied team total going on the road to play the Arizona Cardinals. This game total is 51.5. Both of the secondaries not very good. They don't rank highly. And we got offensive firepower on both sides. So I think this is a game that could shoot out, and Vegas seems to think so. What say you, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. We have on the Cardinals side, we have obviously Martin Harrison last week going off in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns, 130 yards. It was 4 catches, 8 targets, still 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amazing. Honestly, if they could have kept their foot on the gas, this could have been a much bigger week for him. But yeah,
absolutely. Definitely. It's funny, actually. That's kind of, before you mentioned Rashid Shaheed, that was kind of one of my walk of shames because I played Kyler Murray, some Kyler Murray stacks in the afternoon slate, but I hardly had him on the main slate. And I almost, in the afternoon slate, I placed like just outside of the top 50 in a tournament of 16,000. And I only played like 5 lineups in that tournament. And I'm like, man, if I had just played a lot more Kyler Murray, probably could have had that takedown. So yeah, it was kind of tilting though, because Marvin Harrison was smashing and I was like, oh, this is great. I got a double sack with Harrison and McBride. And then that was it. That was all he did in the first quarter. 32 points, basically, just done. But, I think in this spot, Paul, I think this is going to be the top one on the slate. And I'm really looking to attack both sides of this game. So I like this game. We got a couple other ones, a lot of lower scoring games, but obviously the second one will be Philly going on the road to play New Orleans. We've been kind of laughing in our group chat for our home league. It's just like Eric, for example, he's a Raiders fan and he knows what Carr is. And we all know what Carr is. But right now, through 2 weeks of the season, he's looking good. But it's a long season. So is he going to do it for another week, Paul?
Let's go. I mean, Philly is a team that can put points on the board, and you're gonna have to come back with those points. And they do have the offense to do it. They have a lot of weapons with them. So
Yeah,
let's go. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game because we have two high-powered offenses that are going to have to keep up with each other.
most definitely, most definitely. For me, I think I like more Alvin Kamara here. I like either Rashid Shaheed call, maybe Olave. I think
Mhm.
Olave is kind of in the forgotten man. He's getting a little bit of ownership this week. So I don't know. I guess maybe the field is thinking he's going to be the guy. So maybe we just ride Kamara again. Maybe we go to Shaheed again. Um, but I like the Philly side mainly because we have no AJ Brown. So anytime AJ Brown's out, Devonta Smith gets a lot of volume. We saw Goddard get involved last week. So what I like about the Philly side is it's a very condensed offense at this point. It's Devonta Smith. It's a little bit of Godward. It's going to be Barkley. But you don't really have to worry about these, wide receiver threes breaking the slate with Philly. You know who it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, we know who we're feeding here.
yeah, yeah. So I like both sides of that. And then the last game environment that I think looks really good and can live up to the hype is Baltimore going against Dallas. Now, Baltimore is 0-2. They need to win. They're favored on the road, but it's a very close game. It's projected to be very close anyway, and a 48-point total. So I like both sides of this game. As far as I think you could do Dak to Lamb, and looks like we're going to get Ferguson back, so Ferguson would be a play this week. But on the Baltimore side, it's really just for me, it's Lamar or Flowers. I'm not really trying to guess if it's Andrews or Likely. I'll get a little bit of exposure to both of these guys, and I also think he could play Henry. But I like
Absolutely.
both
Along with the
sides of this.
running back utilization, Baltimore, I don't know if they haven't really found their identity on their side of the football, whether they want to be a run heavy offense, their identity is the defense. Um, Tight ends have been a mixed bag so far. So hopefully they figure it out. But it's in Dallas again, and Dallas just came off a huge loss last week. I think they got something to prove this week. I think they're going to come out there angry.
I think you could be right, Paul. Very much so. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I think, um, could give us a lot of goodness. So we'll see what we end up with here. But yeah, so let's kind of do the next portion of the show that we like to do, where we're gonna look at our favorite stacks. So let's jump into these stacks that we like, Paul. I'll let you go first.
So obviously the biggest game on the slate is the Lions Cardinals game. You can go a couple different ways with this stack too. Kyler going for 6,900 on Draftkings. And this is where you kind of want to go up. You want to pay up 7,400 for Harrison, or you can get McBride for 6,200. I mean, it's still an expensive tight end, but you can stack that game either way.
Yes. I like that one. I'm leaning more towards the Goff side of that one. And the reason being is number one, Detroit's favored. Number two, from what I'm seeing over at DFS Army right now, is Goff is going to be low owned, kind of because he was in the same spot last week and he failed the field. So they're scared to go back to him. And that's when I want to play him at low ownership. I don't like Goff as chalk. To me, that's a donkey move. We got Goff chalk, and we're gonna eat that. I want to play him when he's a low ownership. And yeah, he's going against the 31st ranked team in coverage they have a 47 PFF score. So I like it. I like it this week. I'm on the other side of that, but yeah, we could be different. I'm good with that.
Hey, we're trying to put some. We got no money in the actual who's gonna win this. We're just trying to win $1 million here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, once we get Eric back involved in this, we'll have to do the the little side bet we have.
Oh yeah.
Each throwing $5 or whatever. But so yeah, I like that stack. What other stack do you like? We're doing three.
Oh,
Three stacks,
absolutely.
three cores, three sleepers.
So yeah, I mean, for the Dallas Baltimore game, you're gonna have to pay up a lot for this. Dak and CD Lamb. CD is at 8,800. That is an expensive receiver. There's a reason for that. Even with the loss last week, he still put up 90 yards, a touchdown. And then obviously the Eagles game. AJ Brown out. We're going to go back to what's going on last week. Puts Devonta Smith back in. Yeah, absolutely. Jalen Hurts can hurt you on the ground. I mean, those are pretty obvious stacks, but those are big games. So you kind of want to build off those.
I like it. I got one of the stacks from the big three as well. But also, I wanted to do a little contrarian stack in addition to my Goff one. So the one I like, we talked about it. We got Baltimore going on the road to Dallas. I think Lamar is going to put Baltimore on his back. So I like Lamar. It says Zay Flowers this week. Lamar, getting about 7% ownership. He's high. He's spendy. He's 7,500. So, he's going to need over 30 points to 4x the salary to have tournament winning value. Now, if you think about the Millie Maker, you want to have your team score between 4 to 5x their salary. So, you're looking to get in that 230 to like 250 point range to win the Millie Maker. So that's kind of how you have to think of it. Like you're needing a high-end ceiling game from Lamar, and that's going to be over 30 points. But I think this is a week he can do it. I think if he does it, Flowers is having a big game. And Flowers looking at 5% ownership. So I like him. I like that stack right now. I'm seeing 12% ownership. And by the way, these ownership numbers, very important to constructing your lineup to take down a large field GPP. Also even important for cash games, which I do a cheat sheet for at DFS Army. So right now we're doing a promo code crunch. This gives you the projections, this domination station, the optimizer, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, the cheat sheets, all the coaches' notes, the Discord, everything for $10 for your first week. Don't be like my friend Paul here, the idiot who signed up for Fantasy Pros DFS. Embarrassing. I can't believe you. I've been at DFS Army for a year. Even Connor signed up for DFS Army. And you signed up for Fantasy Pros.
In all fairness, I've used their stuff before from Normal Fantasy, their DFS site. The pricing it looks a little misleading. You're thinking you're getting a product. Next thing you know, you click on it, you get in a year.
Yeah. Listen, you do Fantasy Pros for your season long, for your redraft, for your dynasty. You leave DFS to DFS Army, okay? And you were in the Army, so you got to appreciate the DFS Army. Come on now.
All right. Well, I got to get on
it. We'll get you a first week, $10, okay?
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely check that out. I will put that in the video description. The last one, Paul, as we finish out stacks here before we go into our cores and our sleepers, and then we build the lineup. The last one for me, Brock Purdy, which he is projecting for low ownership, 5%. He's going against a Rams team that's without Cooper Kupp, without Puka Nacua. Now they're beat up themselves. Don't get me wrong, but they still have a high team total, 25-point team total. The Rams are just a mess offensively, defensively. They're just not a good squad this year. They're 24th ranked in coverage. So the thing about Purdy is he's cheap. And I think if you stack Purdy, you do it with Ayuk. And there's going to be a backup tight end this week. Kittle's going to be out. So, I think it's going to be Ayuk and like Jennings, for example. So it's going to be a relatively cheap stack You could do a double, and no one's going to be on him this week because he's without Debo, he's without Kittle, he's got no Christian McCaffrey, and he's cheap. And they have a 25-point implied team total, as you can see here. So that would be my, like, let's get weird with it for the Millie. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You see all kinds of weird stacks take down the Millie. Last week it was Daniel Jones.
Honestly, I have one of these myself here sitting on the side. I got a little getting weird for the Millie myself.
All right.
Gardner Minshew and Devontae Adams. Panthers defense.
Yeah.
5,300
for the other day, and this dude plays second in the Millie, and he actually almost locked in Gardner Minshew and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, what's the Millie one with Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on to our core. All right, Paul, I'll let you start it out. Who do you like for your core plays this week?
My core plays. You actually already mentioned one of them just a second ago. One of my core plays, Brandon Ayuk. A very banged up 49ers offense. It doesn't mean an offense that they're going to be able to stop. It just means it's pretty much the same way when Debo's out or when everyone's out, Debo gets a lot of points. Debo's out, CMC out. They're going to focus into Ayuk. They got to feed the offense through somebody. I think that's a great play. Same way with Devontae Smith for the Eagles.
Yep.
And then going back to my getting weird with it, Brock Bowers. And try to slot him in at 5,400 versus Carolina. I mean, where you're going up against that defense, when you're going up against that team, period, it's money.
I like that one because it's basically been the Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers show, and I expect that to continue. He's cheap; he's 5,400. It's a decent matchup going against a terrible Carolina team that is asking Andy Dalton, the Ginger, the Red Rifle, to save them from Bryce Young, who's been terrible. So I'm about it. I like it.
Yeah, you're going to definitely pay up for Adams at 7,600, Bowers at 5,400, so you're paying up a little bit more for him. But that is the defense. I mean, it's a game that should be a blowout. We'll see.
No doubt. So I'm with you on that. Ayuk is my core. He had a slow start, obviously, but that's to be expected. He missed camp. He had a contract holdout. But now there's no Debo. There's going to be no Kittle. He's going against a team again, they're in coverage. They rank 24th. So I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities. He's probably going to get 12 to 15 targets, if we're being honest. And he's 6,200. So I think he's going to smash his salary, and it's going to be pretty easy for him to hit that 4X to have that tournament winning upside. The other guy that's a core for me this week is Amon-Ra St. Brown. As long as he's healthy, he's a full go. I like Amon-Ra because he's going against the 31st ranked secondary. So that's kind of an easy play for me. He got 18 targets last week. I just think I like Goff, and in lineups that I don't have Goff, it's going to be Amon-Ra for me.
Yeah, 18 targets is amazing. Volume is king, always in fantasy.
Yeah, we didn't overreact from week one. You played Amon-Ra. You knew he was going to get fed. He did last week. So
yeah, I mean, if you're sitting him after week one, delete. Put your money in a savings account.
Of course, exactly. And then the last one is CeeDee Lamb. And that kind of goes without saying, like he should have had a better week last week. Dak missed him, but they're going to be in a game script where they're going to, I think, have to pass the ball to keep pace with the Ravens. I think he's going to get a lot of volume. It's, one of the highest scoring projected games on the slate. And it's CeeDee Lamb. We haven't seen the ceiling game from him that we know we can. So
sure, absolutely. I mean, we're saying the same thing about Ayuk. Missed training camp. Obviously, getting up to speed with a new contract, so there's no reason why we shouldn't expect the same out of CD Lamb. Obviously, a lot more talent than Ayuk. Also, 8,800, so a lot bigger of a price tag than Ayuk. But let's go.
Yes, let's do it. And so here's the deal, Paul. We're gonna get in the sleeper section first, our next. But first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our dice roll. And let me pull this up. In fact, so this is how we're gonna do it. Can you see this?
Absolutely, yes, sir. Okay. Let's go.
So we got 1, 2, and 3. How we do this is a part of the show where we do a dice roll, and whatever dice you land on. So out of 1, 2, or 3, Paul's going to go first, for example. And if he lands on 2, he's going to be forced to build a stack for this game. So we're going to do that.
Clickety clink.
Yeah, clickety clink. We're going to do a dice roll, and you're forced to do a stack of that game because you know what? When you play the millie, you're rolling the dice. So you might as well roll the dice and be forced to stack a game and see how it goes out for you. So that's what we're going to do. And then as Paul is building his lineup, I'm going to get my sleepers. And he's going to tell us the lineup. And then I'm going to do my lineup, and he's going to give us his sleepers. So let's go ahead and do the dice roll. So, Paul, this is for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. 3. So you have to stack Baltimore and Dallas. Lucky you.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Then I'll roll. I got 3. I can't do that one. I got to do 1 or 2, basically. So I'll keep rolling. Oh, so I got 1. There it is. So I got perfect. I got Detroit versus Arizona. So I got the game I wanted to stack anyway. So I'm good with that. Paul's going to be building his lineup. I'm going to give my sleepers and then vice versa. That sound good, Paul?
Sounds good. Let's go. Let's win a million.
Yeah, let's do it. So it's pretty funny, actually. My sleepers aren't really sleepers at all. But by definition, a sleeper is a player that we are looking to get in our lineup who is under 10% ownership, preferably closer to 5% than 10%. But it's essentially a player that the field is sleeping on this week. So you might say, oh, Brandon, well, Justin Jefferson isn't a sleeper. Well, this week he's projected for a low ownership. So this week he is a sleeper, at least as of right now on Thursday night when we're recording this. Normally we'll record it on Saturday morning. We'll have a much better idea, but I got a lot of stuff going on.
Never seen that come out of anybody's mouth.
Yeah. So
here we are.
Justin Jefferson. This is, and I'll kind of actually go through this a little bit so you can see the secret sauce for DFS Army VIPs. So Justin Jefferson is he's in a game environment that's just being a little slept on this week. In fact, there it is. Yeah. So we got Houston going on the road. It's 46, which these middling games oftentimes end up outscoring the 51-point game, the 52-point games that you see often. So I like this one. We got Stroud, 24-point team total. We got Kevin O'Connell. Darnold's playing good. We got Jefferson. So this is a game I think they're going to have to throw. I like this game environment. He's getting 5% ownership, and he's Justin Jefferson. So when we look at like ownership here, for example, and we just sort by projected ownership, he's way down there. So 5%. So I think the field's sleeping on him. So he's a guy that I really like. Also, Paul, you mentioned one, Davante Adams. That was your Minshew stack this week.
Mm-hmm.
Davante Adams, 6%. So what I like to do is I don't care the matchup. When it comes to large field tournaments, it's kind of like season long. You play your studs. So when we're thinking about the Millie Maker, so many times I will like review a winning Millie Maker lineup, and I'll be like, why did no one play this top 5 wide receiver? Like no one wanted to play a top 5 wide receiver. Like they can beat good matchups. We got Justin Jefferson at 5%. We got Davante Adams at 6%. And last, We have Tyreek Hill at under 5%. I get it. Tua's on IR. Skylar Thompson, probably not good. But he's Tyreek Hill. He could take 2 plays and break the slate. So give me Tyreek Hill at under 5% ownership. That's my sleeper. That's my third one. Paul.
My sleepers?
No. Let me know your lineup, and I'm going to start building mine, and then we can get into your sleepers after that. So go ahead and tell me your lineup.
Right. This is going to be my lineup for this week. Okay. Dak Prescott, Mason, kind of very chalky, but kind of had to throw him in there.
Okay.
Aaron Jones, I had some other options there, but I'm going a little bit down on the price stamp. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb in there. Juwan Jennings, Rashad Bateman, Brock Bowers, Brandon Ayuk in the flex. And you might not like this. And this is also one of my sleepers for this week. But I'm going to Tampa Bay D.
Okay.
No, they're playing against Denver.
Who?
I know they're playing against Denver this week. I know we're both Broncos fans, but
that's fine. Who do you got though? Who do you got for Tampa? Oh, Tampa Bay D? Is that who
that's I was just saying that's the last one. That's Tampa Bay D, which was also one of my sleepers for this week.
And who was in the flex?
Brandon Ayuk's in the flex. I mean, technically, you can put him in over CeeDee Lamb, or I'm sorry, over Bateman.
So I like Bateman because he's projecting for very low ownership. He's 3,800. So there's your like contrarian play. Who else did you have? You had Dak. You had Mason. Who was your other running back?
CeeDee Lamb, Aaron Jones, Mason, and Juwan Jennings.
Okay. Right now, Jennings isn't projected for a ton of ownership, but I do expect that to come up. You had Aaron Jones, who
5,900,
10% ownership. Okay. Jennings.
When you go with that stack and you're paying 8,800 for Lamb, you gotta really reach for some other guys. But
Jennings about 5%. So yeah, you got some cheapos in there that are projected for low ownership. Also, like good game environments, going to get good volume. So definitely play that lineup. I like it. Why don't let's go into your sleepers, and I will, as you're doing your sleepers, I will let you guys know my lineup.
Sure. So one of my sleepers, kind of been a dud the last 2 weeks. Really did nothing for anybody, and he went decently high. But I'm going with Zamir White. Again, it's a good matchup against Carolina, $5,500. Another one, Demarcus Robinson, $5,000. They gotta throw to somebody, right? Somebody's gonna be on the receiving end of that offense. So let's feed, I guess, the best mouth that we have left that's not sitting on IR at the moment. And yeah, like in my lineup, Juwan Jennings sitting at 4,100. Not big week of him last week. 2 catches for 37 yards, but I think that's going to improve with a lot of guys out this week. Again, mouths to feed out of necessity.
That is important. So looking through some of these builds here, and I was running the optimizer. I would probably tweak this a little bit more to get like more Goff +2. In fact, you know what? Since we're on this stream and I know who I want now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how customizable. You can see this, right, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
See how customizable the domination station is. Goff is very much a QB +2. So stack no less than QB. 2 wide receivers are tight ends from the same team. I got the sim boost, which is basically saying if quarterback's in the lineup, increase projections from wide receiver, tight end from same team by 15%, and also increase projections for wide receiver, tight end from opposing team by 7%. So what this is doing is it's not forcing game stacks. It's not really forcing stacks where you had so many dead lineups. It's saying essentially if they project well, just boost them up a little bit so that you get some more game stacks in your lineups. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm getting more Goff in these lineups. And let's see. Where is he at? So we're going to put an Adore on him. Try to get like 20% Goff. Make sure we got Laporta. We're getting a little bit more Laporta. Let's put an Adore on Amon-Ra. And let's also make sure that I want to get some more Marvin Harrison in my lineup. So put an Adore on him. And then we'll run it. And this is running 150 lineups. So you can see it goes pretty quick, actually. Considering as many rules as you have, the more rules you put in there, the slower it goes. But even then, it's still going pretty quick. And let's see what it gives me. I really want to get Goff for this game that I have to target. So figure we give him a little boost. So people are always like, well, I don't want to play the Millie Maker because I don't want to spend $3,500 to mass multi-enter. That's fair. I get that. So you can play the Mini Max. It's only $75. You play 150 lineups. You win first place. You get $10,000. So these same principles apply. This is one I like. Let me see if there are any doubles with a bring back. If that game really goes off. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with this one up here. There was a Goff double with Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra. Let's see, that was lineup. Yeah, I like this one a little bit better. So this is going to be my lineup, Paul. Jared Goff. I got Jordan Mason. I got Charbonnet. Mason's obviously in a great spot this week. Yes, he's chalk. But you see my total ownership here, and that's something you could do. You could set a cap, which, like I say, it's very customizable because most Millie Maker winners are going to be under 130%. That's why I set a cap. So it's under 130% because of some of the pivots. So I got Mason's chalk, but look at Goff's only 5%. Jamison Williams, he's under 10%. Amon-Ra is right there at 11. I got Broncos D 5%. So, we got enough pivots. We got some good value with DeMarcus Robinson. Essentially being the wide receiver one with Cooper Kupp out.
Yeah.
Same thing with Parkinson. He's cheap. So I like these cheap options that we have that are going to get a lot of volume. I got Ayuk. Like I said, he's a core for me. So love that. And then I got Charbonnet, who obviously this is dependent on Kenneth Walker being out again. But he's getting receiving work. He's getting running work. Decent matchup. They're favored, and that's typically something you want to target is favored running backs. So, yeah, I think this would be my team right here that I have to roll with in the Millie.
Yeah, that's looks like a good lineup. I honestly think San Francisco is going to go with a lot of stuff boxes going against Kyren. That's why I kind of didn't really look at him this week. They know they're banged up on the wide receivers. So, yeah, we got some mouths to feed. I think they're going to focus on that run game and let these guys go.
Definitely. Well, we'll put these in. We'll see how we do. Hopefully we'll win the Millie. Nonetheless, we're gonna start tracking these and see how they go. I was in the money earlier in the day. I'll have to look back, but I think overall my lineup was good because DK Metcalf was smashing last week, but I had a Patrick Mahomes stack and Mahomes just didn't get there. So
I won $30 on the Millie Maker.
yeah,
So obviously had to go back to work on Monday. So
yeah,
let's turn around this weekend. Unemployed on Monday.
yeah. That's how it goes. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this week. Best of luck in the Millie. Of course, we'll be back next week to review this. Look to attack the Millie again. Same thing, same channel. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of it, including all the other DFS content I got coming. Underdog drafts specifically, I've been targeting those this year. So make sure you subscribe. If you're playing in the Millie, let us know who you're playing. Let us know your favorite stack, your favorite core, your favorite sleeper, and hopefully it'll work out for you. But Paul, any last words?
No, let's go. Week 3, 0 injuries this week. Nobody gets injured. All our players come back. Let's go.
Exactly. Let's win
Have
money,
a great weekend,
not lose
everybody.
because of an
Win
injury.
some money.
And hopefully our season-long teams will be intact still after
Yes.
this. All right, later.